Cool. We can try and connect to.
Oh, you're live.
Oh, we're in.
Finally, I refreshed.
Oh, beautiful.
So we'll give everybody a minute to get in here. That was a hell of a process. Can you hear us? This is my first time doing a live stream, not only on this channel, but also using this. I'm actually using one of my nice cameras for this. Oh, yeah.
We are live. Beautiful.
Awesome.
I was panicking then for a moment.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure. And it's that thing. Do you press refresh? Because it's like when I tried to refresh, and it's like, are you sure you want to reload this page? You might lose your data. I don't know. So we had a spinning wheel for 5:05, so 5 minutes now. Someone said they got no link via email. That's all being sent out right now. We're just getting all this out. So we'll just have a bit of a quick chat for 5 minutes, give everyone a chance to get in here. But thank you to everyone that was here on time, punctual. Sorry, we were late, having technical difficulty. I can blame him. He doesn't have Wi-Fi, so we're hotspotting currently.
We are peasantry.
But this is looking good. We got good turnout of people in here at the moment. Thank you, everybody.
Studio looking good. Thank you, Museum. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. This is I'm in the process of finishing this, but this is the first time putting it out to the public.
Yeah. Popping its cherry.
Beautiful. So I'm excited for this. So I think obviously this is like your first proper YouTube training, right?
That's right. Yes.
So I think your lives, you usually have some beers, chill, answer some cues, but this is like a proper YouTube training.
This is just going to be,
You've got an entire session planned out. You've got tons you're going to go over. So this is like a proper session. Obviously, we'll do some Q&A at the end.
Yeah, that's right.
But you've got some things that you also want to work through.
Yeah, this should go for about an hour. And there's just going to be a lot of, we'll just go through all different things about YouTube, things that I do, things that I think are important. And at the end, we've got a really cool, it's a really obvious, but a really overlooked thing. It's going to instantly get people with small channels more views. So that'll be the last thing we'll do. And then we'll dive into a Q&A after that. That will be here in the chat. And we've also had some questions sent in.
Yeah.
So this will go, around an hour. We don't have a definite time on it. We'll just do it as long as it takes.
Love it. Well, I mean, I know for me, just some context, I probably started following you around 16,000 subscribers, something like that. And, watching your channel was a big motivation for me to one, come ahead to Thailand, but to also start my own YouTube channel. And I wish that you were sort of doing this kind of thing years ago when I was starting out. Do you know what I mean? Because it would have just been so helpful. So grateful you're doing this, and I'm really happy you're doing it. Right?
Yeah, and this whole thing has been actually really rewarding for me, and I'm enjoying helping people. We're one-on-one mentoring people, and this is really exciting and super rewarding for me. So today, what we're going to do is just getting inside my mind and the way I think. A lot of this is around mindset. So I'll give an overview of what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to talk, basically, this is all about how I went from losing money, spending money to make YouTube videos, to now earning money, and now earning more money than I've ever earned in my life, which is insane for me to be able to do this and earn a really good living. So we'll go through almost all of this is around mindset and attitude. And I'll talk about my journey and explain what I used to do wrong and how I've changed that and how I've developed my mindset and my approach to everything. And that's what ultimately is the difference between people that are just doing this for fun and people that are really doing this seriously and professionally. And we have a really high ceiling, basically. So I'll talk about 5 differences between those people that are serious and people that will succeed and people that likely won't. And then I'll dive into how I've approached these 5 things. And then after that, I'll get into motivation, because staying consistent is key. And staying consistent is incredibly difficult. You have to push through the tough times. You have to make videos when you don't want to make videos. And you have to have things in place that prevent you from getting burnt out and prevent you from not wanting to make videos. I have never once been burnt out. I've never once not been excited to make videos, but I have some have some real reasons for that and some things that I do to prevent burnout, because that is my ultimate fear, is that if this no longer becomes fun and it becomes a job, then I lose that. What I have now is that this incredible lifestyle, I get paid to do it, which still blows my mind all the time. So if it ever becomes like work, then that magic is gone. And then at the end, I'll dive into the simple trick that will instantly get you more views. And this is for newer and smaller channels. Like I said, this is a really obvious one, but the most overlooked aspect of making YouTube videos.
Love it, mate. Yeah, tons of value in there for sure. So I see loads of comments coming in. Thank you so much. I think what we're going to do is any questions that you do have, please drop them in whilst we're doing it.
Yep.
And then at the end, we'll go back through the chat and we'll sort of address those questions and work through those.
Yeah.
So please, if you're dropping any comments in there or questions, don't feel like we're ignoring you or anything like that. We will come back to it at the end.
Yep.
But obviously, you've got a bit of a structure we're going to follow just so that this session can be as valuable as possible. And
I do.
get as much out of it as you can.
So George will be keeping an eye on the chat. I'm not. So I am terrible at remembering things. I can't do scripts. I have all of this written down in front of me. So if I'm not looking at you and I'm looking at this, it's because I have no idea what I'm about to say next. So we'll start off. When I sit back and I look at what is the difference between people that are successful and myself and people that aren't, it all comes down to mindset, as I said. And I'm going to talk about my approach and the strategies that I use. And basically, that's all it takes to become successful on YouTube, is to have the right planning and strategy and the right mindset. So I'm going to tell you, and what's interesting about this actually is that this not only sets me apart from other YouTubers, it also sets me apart from an earlier version of myself when I first started making YouTube videos. And I didn't have all the right mindset, and I didn't have the right approach, and I didn't have the right strategies. So as I reflect back on that, I can reflect back on what I used to do and what I do now. And I'll explain how we can bridge that gap. So I'm going to talk about my story, my journey on YouTube. So my first ever YouTube channel, I started in 2016. And that was either 2016 or maybe early 2016. No, I think it's 16. And that was, I was reacting to Korean hip hop videos. This was just something I enjoyed doing. I love Korean hip hop. I would watch this Korean hip hop show. Reaction channels was really new at this time. It was quite a new thing. I was the only foreigner that was reacting to Korean hip hop videos. So I didn't know. I just did something that I thought was going to be fun. And this channel had wild success because it was unique. I was doing something that no one else was doing. And it was a kind of new trending space. And I didn't do anything. I look back, I still have some of those videos saved that I have access to. I had no description. I had no tags, nothing, nothing. In hindsight, the goal of that YouTube channel was actually to build my Instagram. I didn't know that you could even monetize YouTube at that point. I just did it for fun and to build my Instagram. And I got bored of it. All the videos were getting, 20K, 30K, 50K. My best one got a couple 100,000 views. And I deleted the channel when I got bored of it. I was like, I don't really want to do this anymore. It wasn't growing my Instagram like I thought it would. And I literally deleted the channel. I still have a bunch of those videos saved, the most popular ones, but I just got bored with it. So my mindset was, YouTube's easy. You upload videos, they go viral, you get subscribers, and that's it. So a little while later, I was always interested in YouTube, and I started watching more travel people, and I was preparing to move overseas to Korea. And I would look at what people were doing on YouTube, and I was like, oh, holy shit, you can monetize this. You can make money. You can earn from this. YouTube's easy. And I already know how to make videos. I can edit videos. I can upload them. And I've already had success. So if I start making vlogs, and I started watching all these different vloggers and travel vloggers and stuff, and I'm like, well, I can do that. And then I'm going to make money. This is perfect. So I moved to Korea not to become a YouTuber. I moved there. I was moving there anyway. But becoming a YouTuber was very much part of the plan. And it was how I hoped to eventually make money. I made videos and nobody watched. And I just didn't understand. Again, I didn't have any SEO. I didn't do tags. I didn't do descriptions. I didn't do anything. I just made videos, uploaded them, and expected hundreds of thousands of people to come flocking to them because I thought that's how it worked. I was incredibly naive. Now, I continued down this line. I would make more videos. I was getting, and in hindsight, I was gaining popularity. I can look at that channel, or it's this channel, my Keis One channel, and I was getting subscribers and I was getting views, but it wasn't at the same rate as the last channel. So in my mind, the channel was failing. But what I didn't realize was that's how it works. It takes time. And there are days where you don't get any subscribers. The Creator's Edge is a great example of that. Gone days where we don't get a single subscriber. This is what new channels have to go through. And I was just learning the harsh reality of that, but I wasn't learning that. I was just, in my mind, I was like, oh, this isn't working. It's a failure. Now, I loved making videos, so I continued to make videos, and more so to document my trip. I gave up on the idea of making money and becoming famous and blowing up on the platform. And I was just like, I'm just going to keep making these. My family watched them. You know, my close friends would give me encouragement. Hey, I'm enjoying your videos. So that was enough for me. And I was documenting my experience of moving abroad and living abroad. Now, what happened was during the pandemic, I got stuck in Australia for a little under a year. I think it was around like 9 to 10 months. And in that time, I moved in with my parents and I had nothing to do. I couldn't get back to my home in Korea. I was camping in a sense, because we kept being told on the news, 6 weeks to flatten the curve. It's 3 more weeks. It's 2 more weeks. And I was just like, well, as soon as this is all over, I'm going back home to Korea where all my things were. And because I had nothing to do, we couldn't go out. We weren't socializing. We were at home. I started learning about YouTube and I started obsessing about analytics and back-end stuff. And I started taking courses and learning as much as I could about YouTube. And I realized that I was doing all of this wrong. So that's when I started to plan and strategize. And when I came to Thailand, I had one mission. It was to succeed on YouTube. And I had no other goals. I had no other plans. I wasn't going to touch any of my other hobbies. I wasn't going to buy a car or a motorbike or a skateboard or anything. It was just YouTube. That's all I was going to do. So when I came back, and I came back with the right mindset and planning and knowledge, I had immediate success. So I'm going to talk about now those 5 key things. 5 key things that are the difference between the old version of myself that just uploaded videos to YouTube and expected to become the most famous YouTuber in the world, to the person that came here, me, now coming to Thailand with a game plan and a strategy. So the first things, the 5 key differences that I'll talk about. The first one is vision and goals. And this is where I really went wrong the first time. It's super important to have a vision, a goal. Who do I want to be? Where do I want to get to? How can I get there? I didn't have that before. And I came here with I had a very tight plan for that. And I basically had to sink or swim, and I had a very limited amount of time to do it. So in a minute, I'll tell you how I approached that. The second part is business. Does everybody know that you're serious about this? Does your audience know? Back then, I was just a guy making videos. Now, I'm a guy that people know very much. This is my life mission. This is what I'm hell-bent on. This is my sole purpose, is to succeed on this and be successful and make a living from this. So you need to show the audience that you're serious about this for them to want to believe in that vision and that journey as well. And then we have strategy. And this is sort of the meat and bones of it all. Really, I had zero strategy. As I said, I wasn't even doing SEO or anything like that. So coming with a game plan. And what does that look like? It's not just making videos willy-nilly. This is having a strategy of, I need to do some information videos. I need to do some videos that are for me, for fun, for daily vlog style videos, which is what I wanted to succeed at. And then I needed to find other ways to attract a new audience. So there would be information videos, sharing knowledge, sharing things that people are interested in that are not typically my first interests. And I'll explain how I did all of these, because I still do that sort of thing to this day. And then training, learning. This is a huge one. Are you evolving? When you're a new channel, when you're a small channel, people will accept a lower quality video. They'll accept bad audio. They'll accept mistakes. They'll accept you repeating yourself and saying and not knowing what you're doing and lacking a bit of direction. but you need to evolve past that. There is a time frame on how long people will tolerate that sort of stuff. If you see a guy that's a big YouTuber and he's got horrible wind noise in the videos, you're like, come on, man, you should be better than this by now. People subscribe to small channels for the potential. They want to see where the journey goes. I do this myself. I subscribe to a handful of smaller YouTubers because I'm like, well, this guy's got something, but let's see where it goes. Let's see what happens with this. And a lot of time it goes nowhere, but there are times, and this is why you do it, is when that person blows up, you can feel like a part of that journey. So yeah, are you learning? Are you evolving? Is your content getting better? You can actually go back and watch all of my first videos from this Keis One or from my Keis One channel. They're all still there, and I've left them so that people can go back and watch the evolution, because I did have evolution even when I wasn't trying that hard. But you can see the jump from my last video in Korea to my first video in Thailand. And then the last part is putting in the full effort, and this is everything. Like, you think learning YouTube, you think it's all about, oh, I want to learn how to make great videos, but you also need to learn how to make great thumbnails. You also need to learn about algorithms and titles and all this stuff. You need to be on top of your emails. You need to be building a community and building a loyal audience. And when I say things like you need to be on top of your emails, like when you get brands reach out to you, if you don't respond to them for a couple of days, they're going to think you're unprofessional and you're not going to get that opportunity again. So this is something I personally fucking hate, is doing emails, but this is part of my daily routine. Is that it's one of the first things I do, is like get it out of the way, and I'd never want to do it again, because my old job was all about answering emails. So I hate that. But staying on top of this is really important. And this is how I've secured great brands and great relationships. A brand emails me, I get back to them within the same day every single time. And then they're likely to reach out to you again, and you build those relationships. And then an extension of that is having things like, do you have a media kit, which is when a brand emails me, they say, hey, we want to know who your audience is, what your demographics are, blah, blah, blah. Are you interested in this? I have just a page that I can send back that I've prepared, spent a lot of time on. That's got my audience demographics. It's got my rates. It's got a bit about me, things that any brand would want to know. Having these kind of things just adds an extra layer of professionalism. So you need to do all of this at the same time as trying to learn how to make great videos. This is a really tough one and something that's overlooked, but being successful on YouTube is not just making great videos. It's all of this together. So I'll talk about how I've approached all of these. Do you have anything so far?
Yeah, a couple of things have really stood out for me. I think, you said about vision and goals, and I think that's extremely powerful, obviously, because without the vision of where you want to go, right, you have no real sense of direction. You haven't got that future you're trying to pull towards the present. And I think from a goals perspective, I mean, it's great to have a goal of like, I'm curious to hear how you did it, but it's one thing to have a goal that's like to hit 100K subs. It's another thing to have a goal to make X amount of videos, because one of those is sort of outside of your control and one of those is within your control. And if you do the one that's within your control, it will lead you to the vision that you have.
Yeah.
I think another thing you said about when you go back and watch your old videos and just getting better. So I watched one of your old videos, maybe from like 2 years ago, something like that. And I mean, it was still a good video. But it was nothing like the videos that you make now. At the time when I watched it, I thought it was a great video. But then I watch your videos now, and then I go back and watch your old videos. It's like, it's okay, it's a good video, but it's nowhere near like it is now.
Yeah.
But that progress is slow and over time. But when you span that across enough videos,
when you jump 2 years, it's huge.
It's a huge jump. But I never noticed that change until you go back.
And it's quite funny because there are a lot of subtle changes that I didn't notice either. It's just a natural evolution.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a fun one. I'll get into that.
Nice. Yeah. No, there are a couple of things that really stood out for me.
Cool. So I'll talk about how I've approached these. So vision and goals, like who do you aspire to be? What do you want to achieve? When I came to Thailand, like I said before, it was the only goal. I'm one of those people, I'm always doing 35 things at once. I'm doing up a motorcycle. I'm into cars. I'm chasing girls. Was chasing girls, not anymore. doing that. You're partying, you're having fun. I've always like racing dirt bikes. Like I've always had all these hobbies, trying to skate, trying to get in shape, always doing all these things at once. And I thought like, I'm good at a lot of things, but I'm exceptional at nothing. And I've always thought that if I could just focus all of that energy into just one thing, I think I'd be unstoppable. And that's essentially what happened when I came here. I came here with 10,000 Australian dollars to my name. That's all the money I had in the world. I now earn more than that a month, but I came here with that much money. And once the money ended, I was going back home to move in with my parents. And that was it. There was sink or swim, basically. So I came here and I knew I had to be as efficient as I could with my money and just work as hard as possible. And this was my last go at YouTube. I tried when I went to Korea. I had a little a little boost halfway along the way, and I was like, oh, have another crack at this. And I put out a bunch of videos, and I didn't get the success. This was it. This was the last shot. And if it didn't work out, and I'd given it everything I had, I would have been okay. I would have been able to sit on that plane and go, well, I tried my best. It's not for me, or I'm not for it. So that meant I wanted to come here and make a video every single day. Every single day I wanted to make a video, because if I was sitting on that plane going back to my parents' place, I wanted to be sitting on that plane knowing there was nothing I could have done that I didn't. So that was the mindset. I came over here, make that $10,000 last as long as possible, make as many videos as possible, succeed. That is it. And when you approach something with that mindset, sink or swim, and I didn't have any money coming in and I'm watching the bank dollars going down, and that day to me booking the flight back to my parents' place is getting closer and closer, it's really easy to show up, and it's really easy to put in the best work that you can possibly do, and really easy to apply yourself. Because if you don't, then the dream's over. So that was very much how I was back against the wall, have to succeed. No other option. And because I got monetized within like 3 months, but I made like 90 videos in 3 months. So how long does it take most people to make 90 videos? A year, 2 years can be a really long time. So I was just fast tracking that whole process. Combined in with, it was a great time that there wasn't many people in the space. Thailand YouTubers wasn't really a thing. There was like 4 of us doing it. That was it. This was an emerging niche. It's now a niche within YouTube. Within YouTube, it never was. So being at the forefront of that, all the stars aligned for that. But it still took me making a video every day for 3 months to get monetized. And then my first month, I made a couple of $100. Second month, I made close to 1,000. And the goal for me was, if I can make $1,000 per month, then I'll be able to live here, and this is working. So especially back during that time, everything was a lot cheaper. Third month, I made like $2,000. And I was like, whoa. Month after that, I made like $3,000. And it's like, okay, this has potential. And I'm seeing a direct, the harder I work, the more money I make. No video, no money. More videos, more money. It's like that, black and white. So I just kept hustling and just kept my foot on the accelerator and just continued that mindset, and was never content with where I was at any point. And I'm still not. So never being content and just always driving forward was how I approached that. What do you think?
Man, I love it. Yeah, I love it. I remember when we first met, and you actually did an interview on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept asking different questions, right? Trying to find a different answer, but it always felt like the answer you were giving me was like, you have to just focus on this one thing and make great videos. Like it was an element of focus. And I remember you saying that you felt like you were good at a lot of things, but never really focused on one thing and mastered it. But when you had that focus on that one thing, everything changed.
Yeah.
And I remember that from that time, and it's motivating to hear that story.
Yeah. And I still very much believe in that, because also what happens is, from doing that, from making all those videos, I have 100 or 90 videos worth of experience in 3 months.
Mm.
So your skills and abilities just skyrocket really, really quickly.
Yeah.
No,
I love it. I mean, it's like if you know that it's going to take 100 videos to get good, you can either spread those 100 videos over 2 years, or you did it in 3 months.
Exactly. So the next thing is business. Does your audience know you're serious? I've been talking about this journey the entire time. I talked about it at the beginning. I share my earnings. I still share my earnings. I believe that anyone that watches my videos knows that this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I'm serious about. And I'm not just doing this for fun. I've been on every podcast in Thailand that I can be on. I'm going to be on one more next week. That's coming soon. But I've put myself out there. I've been on the news. I did the morning show on the news. I've just done as much as I can to build my personal brand within the space, and just to let people know that this is who I am and this is what I'm about. And I'm taking this very, very seriously. I'm not just a guy running around with a GoPro. And then the third thing is strategy. And this is what I touched on, or what I just spoke about, the strategy of making a lot of videos. But it's not just making 90 videos in 90 days about whatever. There was a clear plan there. And I would mix that up. I would do some information videos. And at that time was the lockdowns and restrictions and everything. Every time one of those came out, like there was an update to that, I can do an informative video about that. And that will appeal to a wider audience. My goal was always to do daily vlogs, just day in the life stuff. It wasn't the most popular stuff. No one really cared about what I was doing every day. But as soon as you offer information to someone and you teach people things and you offer value to them, they all of a sudden become a little more interested in what you do the rest of the time. So spacing those videos out, doing information, showing places, and then doing the videos that I want. And I still do that to this day. I make videos about the changing weed laws and stuff here. I don't smoke. I have no interest in weed, don't care anything about that, but that is purely a business move. Those videos reach an entire new audience that may not know who I am. And I do a variety of videos that are basically like that. So I have topics that I keep revisiting that I'm not necessarily passionate about, but it's just purely part of my strategy. And then the last part of that is a strategy thing that I always tell people to work on, is having a storyline within your channel. So for me, the storyline was to be able to make it. And I've since had other storylines going on. More recently is sort of the shift in my life of moving out of the city and coming here and building a life at home. And I've been modifying a car, and before I was modifying a motorcycle. There's always little things going on within the channel that will keep people interested and wanting to see the next video and wanting to subscribe.
Nice. Yeah, I really like that. That's something that you've sort of been drilling into me recently a little bit. Like, it's the difference between like an episode and a season, right? Like you can have an episode, but a season maybe is a longer storyline.
Yeah.
You know, it's a storyline that will thread across multiple episodes or longer, and you can weave that in different ways. And it gives the people to, I think, be invested in you, your story, and keep coming back to watch more.
Yeah.
And yeah, that channel strategy you've been drilling into me as well. And it makes sense. It's a bit more work up front to think about it like that. But once you get it, it makes everything else easier because you know what it is that you're working towards.
Exactly. The next thing, I just saw a comment from Patty talking about burnout. I'm going to jump into that soon because, as I said earlier, I've never been burnt out. One of the reasons why, and I'll dig into this more later, is are you learning? Are you learning more things, evolving? Because you should always be improving as a content creator. And I still am to this day. I was doing voice lessons recently to I don't like the way I sound on voiceovers. So I've been doing like voice training. I still do color grading things. I learn new editing software. Like I'm always trying to learn new things, learn new tricks, learn new skills to continue to elevate the content. And that can be from a variety of different ways. You can learn from just watching. I watch a lot of documentaries on topics that I have no interest in at all, but I'm more interested in learning the format of how that documentary comes together and where they place everything and how the storyline looks, and really breaking down documentaries because that is something I quite enjoy. So learning is really important. And this is something I hopefully never stop doing, because it's super important, and it will keep your content evolving all the time. So that is, and the great thing is there's a lot of free stuff out there for people that have joined the Creator's Edge. That's exactly what this is all about. Learning from other people, learning from your peers, learning from watching, just trying to absorb as much as possible.
Yeah. No, I remember. I remember when I used to watch your videos, I would think to myself, "Cool, I can do this. I'll just go somewhere, talk to the camera, chat a bit of shit, record a bit of B-roll, bit of music, rock up somewhere else, talk that, and then that would be the video." And I think the more I sort of learn from you and watch your process, it's always showed me like there's levels to the game, and you have to level up. Do you know what I mean? You making good videos is a skill, and your channel growth and the views your video gets will be a representation of how good your videos are. And if you want to make better videos, you just have to get better at the skill of making videos.
Yeah,
100%.
And then the last one is the full effort: thumbnails, titles, emails, building a community, having a media kit, doing all of this stuff. This is the hard part. This is where you just need to just knuckle down and do it, and just accept that a lot of the work that you do isn't always fun. Like I said, I hate the emails. I hate invoicing more than anything. Oh my God. My least favorite is writing invoices, chasing brands for money. Oh, that's work to me. That is really work, but it is a necessary part of the game. And for me, I always try to approach it as I want it to be as professional as possible. So that's why I mentioned responding to emails on the same day, every single time, being prompt with like when people want things, just giving that as quickly as possible. When I especially find when trying to lock in brand deals, if I'm at the computer and they shoot out the email and I can get back to them right away, what will happen is they've emailed 100 creators. And if I can be the first one to reply, I'm going to be the first one that gets sent over to the brand and the first one that gets reviewed. And this is how I've always looked at it. So as soon as that email comes, I've got my media kit ready that I've spent time on. I've got all the analytics and everything ready to go to that I can send them. So they send me, "Hey, are you interested in this?" So I have like my email that I can write. "Yes, I'm interested. Here is all the information, everything that you would likely ask for me over the next few emails. Let's just jump that whole process." And this is how I'm able to lock in new brands every single month really efficiently. And a lot of this stuff just comes from time. So when you finish editing the video, you want to think, "Hey, I'm done," but time to, spend time brushing up your media kit and working on these other little things that just make you a little bit more professional. And I just continue that. As much as I dislike that side of it, that is a really, really important side of doing what we do.
Yeah. I think it's useful to know that in anything that you do that you love, there will probably always be elements of that thing that you don't love, but they're just a necessary evil. Like if you want to have that life, you want to do that thing, this other thing comes with it, and it's just the cost of admission.
Exactly that. So next up, I want to talk about motivation, and as Patty has said, like touching on burnout and how to avoid burnout, because it really is about staying consistent. If you just keep making videos, you will develop, you will get better, and you will succeed. When I started my reaction channel, and this is something I noticed, so my reaction channel blew up quite quickly. A little while later, somebody else started doing a similar thing, but in a gimmicky way. They were dressed up as a nun and they were reacting. They were funny, but less, I think, offered less personable. It was less personable because it wasn't a person. You're just looking at a character. And they started, and I was always ahead of them. They sort of started as I was like sort of finishing up, and I was always ahead of them for views and everything. And when I stopped that, they kept going, and that channel now has 1 million subscribers, maybe 500,000, 1 million. They just kept going, and I've seen other people in the same space come and go, but the ones that just keep at it will always succeed. So how do you stay motivated? It's really tough. Sometimes you need to dig deep. When I came out here, I made a video every day, no excuses. And I told myself, there's no excuses. Tired, too bad. Hungover, fucking suck it up. Go make the video, just do it. No excuses. Show up every single day. Now, I got more efficient at that. Sometimes I would shoot 2 or 3 in a day, and then I would have some spare in the bank, but I was able to still show up to work every single day. It was my most viewed video. It's now my second most viewed video. I almost didn't make. I was hungover. I was sitting. I was down in Pattaya. I had a night of partying. I was going to shoot a video in the morning and then head back to Bangkok. I was a hungover mess, sitting in a restaurant, having breakfast, trying to collect myself. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make this video. And then I pushed myself. I'm like, no, I will make it. I will make it. And I'm not going to make the video. Finished my breakfast, wasn't feeling any better, wasn't feeling inspired. Booked a taxi back to Bangkok. The guy arrived and said, I don't want to drive to Bangkok. Can you book another one? Next one I booked was a 20-minute wait. And I was like, well, if I got 20 minutes, and this is a video I can do in 20 minutes, I should just go out and bust out this video. Bust out the video. It was the best video I'd ever made, the most viewed video I've ever made. And it's now the second most viewed video I've ever made. It's got around 1 million views, maybe there, maybe close to. And I almost didn't make that video. And that just tells me, show up every day, because you never know which one is going to be that. And it wasn't a great idea. It wasn't earth-shattering. It wasn't anything special. It was a scams video. And I'd just gotten the scams from other people. I didn't even come up with it all by myself. But this video was a game changer on my channel. I mean, thousands and thousands of dollars, got me thousands of subscribers, still gets views to this day. And I almost didn't make it. So my top 3 tips for avoiding burnout, staying motivated, and making the video even when you don't want to. One thing I've always done is music. I have 3 songs that represent different stages of what I need to do. The first one is by Meek Mill. It's called Wins and Losses. And at the beginning of it is a speech. It's probably a famous speech, but it's all about chasing your dreams and becoming obsessed with your dreams and living and breathing nothing else but your dream. And the beginning of that is an inspiring speech. And then the whole song is about chasing dreams, basically. And this is something I used to play before I go out to make every single video, before I was monetized. And I would just play this just to hype me up, get me in the mood, and remind myself to chase my dreams. This is the dream, chase it. So Meek Mill, Wins and Losses. The next one is a song by Grinspoon, which is an Australian punk rock band. And the song is called Champion. And this is the song that I would play when I wasn't feeling it. And I wasn't wanting to go out and make a video that day. And I wasn't hyped. This song hits home for me because of the word champion. I used to race dirt bikes, motocross at quite a high level. I've won many, many races. Winning a championship, like winning a series in 1 year and becoming the champion, is incredibly difficult because many people win throughout the series. Many people you have good days, you have bad days, you have off days. To be the champion, there are no off days, or you have to make the most of your off days. So I've been a champion twice, something I'm very proud of. I race motorcycles a hell of a lot more than 2 series. It's really, really hard to be a champion. And the opening line of that song is, so you want to be a champion? And goes straight into like a punk rock song. So when I'm not feeling it, I put on that song. And do you want to be a champion? Yeah, I want to be the champion. You have to show up. You have to make the most of those down days. I still play that song sometimes. Some days I'm not feeling it. And then the last one is a song, and I can leave links for all these at the end, is a song by a Korean hip hop artist. It's called Don Dada. And it's all about, the chorus of that is, I was born to be a star. And it's just like, that's a celebration song. I played that. That's the first song I played when I got monetized. This is the song I celebrate. At the end of a grueling video or something, I'll play that song and I'll crack a beer. And these are really important. These are songs that are really important to me, and they've really had a huge influence on me. That Grinspoon Champion will get me to do fucking anything when I'm not feeling like doing it. So this is something that's really helped me along the way. Music is really inspirational to me. The next one is workspace. And this is really, really important and probably the most overlooked. Having somewhere that you're comfortable to go work is really important. Having a nice chair to sit in. Somewhere there should be nothing about your working or editing process that makes you not want to be there. Whether that's a rickety table or a shitty chair like George's chairs here, there should be nothing that mentally you tie to like, oh, I got to go do that. This is why I don't edit in cafes. Like I will occasionally, but I'm not one of those people that likes to go to a co-working space or a cafe because I have a really good desk. I have a really good setup. I've got a nice screen set up. I've got a comfortable as fuck chair. These are really important. So there's nothing about being in my space that I don't look forward to. I go there for fun. I hang out in my studio. This is a really important thing, having a comfortable space and just having no negative ties to the work. And then the third things for avoiding burnout, and the most important, is to always be learning. If you're always learning, you're never going through the motions. If you're learning something new, you're going to be excited to try it. You're going to be excited to implement those new things that you've learned. I am always learning something. I finished a color grading course recently, and then from that, I'm excited to go make the video so that I can color grade it and work on those kind of things. There is always something new you can learn. You never stop learning. And this will always keep it interesting, keeping it new and fresh. Because the minute you're going through the motions and it's just all autopilot, that's when you start to get bored. And that's where burnout comes from, is like, here we go again. So if you always have something new that you're trying to implement, trying to work towards, I've found things like even buying a new camera and having like learning how to get the most out of my camera and learning about this new lens and new framing and all these new skills that you can learn. This keeps it fresh and interesting for you.
Really nice. Yeah, I really like what Paddy said. Paddy, big fan, by the way. He realized he was only traveling for content, and now it doesn't excite him, he doesn't go. And I think that if there is a way to make like making content additive to your life, like it makes you go or do something you'd like to do and you otherwise wouldn't have done it, it becomes a great thing you've sort of added into your life. Mm-hmm. You know, we sometimes think we need to sacrifice. It doesn't mean we don't have to sacrifice things in order to do it, but we sometimes think we need to somehow make our life worse in the name of making content, when actually we can just reframe that and think, well, how can we make our life better?
Yeah. And, you know, it's funny, like when I made a video every single day, it forced me to do something cool every single day, because I can't just make a video about like, yesterday I did nothing. I've got a driving sim. I'm learning to drift, and I played that for like 4 hours. That's not interesting. Well, I had a lot of fun, but back then when I was doing stuff, I had to go outside every day. I had to do something interesting, had to do something exciting. And because of that, I was having a whole lot of fun, and it never really felt like work because of that. Because like, oh, today I get to go to that market. I've got this like list of places I want to go, and oh, cool, I'm going to do this, going to do that. What it did take away was those days where I sit on the couch and watch Netflix all day and just be a fat, lazy piece of shit. So it doesn't need to be daunting to go out and make the content. And you learn how to create lists of video ideas that I have video ideas that I can knock out in an hour. I have video ideas that require me to go like a really long way away. Paddy's example was, his was very much about like getting on the motorbike and doing a big trip. And that gets really tough. And, you know, there's not as many easier ones that you can do in between. So that comes back to strategy, as we said before, is having all those, having the good strategy and video strategy of ways to get around all of that.
Yeah, for sure. Nice. I love it. Yeah, I think, you know, another one is the way you feel before you make the video and the way you feel after it can be completely different. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes I think we think that a lot of the work begins after you click publish, or even after you click record. Like for me, I know that the internal work is everything that exists between wanting to make the video and actually clicking record the first time. Like that for me is the hurdle. But if I can just work through that hurdle, I know at the end of the day, the sense of like, I don't know, like relief and just the dopamine effect it's had on me and the sense of accomplishment that I've got from having made a video, I feel entirely different after having done it.
That recording that outro is the best feeling. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Camera off. Fuck yeah, let's crack a beer. Like, but this is, it's a really rewarding thing, and especially when you've done something, because there are days you leave the house and you're like playing champion and you don't want to be there. It's like, let's go do this video, and you have an amazing experience.
Yeah.
And some of my best videos have been videos that I didn't expect. I had a video where I walked around like a neighborhood and I'm like walking around but couldn't see anything interesting. I'm like, this video sucks. It's not working. And then some stranger bought me lunch. And all of a sudden it's like, whoa, this is anonymously. They paid for my lunch and left. When I went to go pay for my lunch myself, the lady's like, the people that were sitting at the table next to you actually paid for you. These things. And then my whole day turned around, and then I met this like random group of people and they invited me to drink with them. And it was just like, whoa, like this is not how I saw the day going. I wasn't hyped leaving the house. The video seemed like it was sucking. And then all of a sudden I created this incredible video and an incredible memory. So this happens.
I love it. I love it.
So I want to talk about the simple trick that will instantly get you more views for smaller and new YouTubers. And this isn't going to go for very long. And then after this, we'll get into the Q&A. So we've got some prepared questions. I can see there's been lots of questions coming through here, so happy to get through a bunch of them. I'm not in any time frame, are you?
No.
Cool. Excuse me. So the simple trick that will instantly get you more views. This is going to sound really obvious, but it's thumbnails. And this is the most overlooked part, myself included. I look back at my old videos and the thumbnails were awful. And I was trying to get better at them, but I wasn't putting the same effort level into it. So the reason, and like now that I think about it, it's so obvious, and I wasn't thinking about it at the time, was that's what people click before they know who you are, right? So like if the thumbnail sucks, they're never going to discover you. You're almost better investing more time in the thumbnail than the video, because getting them to click is the hard part. And I've always done well with retention. For me, like getting people to click. If I can get people to click, they'll watch. It's always been the way. And my early thumbnails sucked. I'm getting better. I'm still not where I would like to be, but this is a really overlooked skill. And I think people should invest way more time at the beginning. It's as important, it's possibly more important than the video, because if no one clicks, it doesn't matter how good your video is. So take the time to work on that as well, because you're going to be learning a new camera, you're going to be learning editing software. This is going to take the back seat. And for myself, that's exactly what happened as well. This is super, super important. And you can hire people for it, but you can hire people for it as long as you know what the type of thumbnail should be, because there is a lot of trial and error. There's no one size fits all. The type of thumbnails that works for someone like Ken Abroad, as an example, one of my good friends, Ken, and me are completely different. His is a screenshot. Mine is always a lot more animated. What works for Mr. Beast doesn't work for me, and I've tried it. I hired a thumbnail editor to make these crazy bright things. They don't work. So you need to do all that trial and error as well as learning how to make videos and getting good at that. So the trick that will instantly improve that is instantly improve your views is getting the click. So put that time into getting good at making thumbnails. That's something that in hindsight, I wish I'd done better all the way through. I feel like I'm only just now getting to a stage where I'm really happy with my thumbnails and I'm making good thumbnails that really break out. I didn't early on, even up to 50,000 subscribers. I was making shit thumbnails. And I just didn't invest the time in. I've now made like 700 videos, so that means I've made about 1,000 thumbnails. So I've gotten good at it and I've gotten the hang of all of it. But I definitely didn't invest enough time in it at the beginning, and I think that really hurt my early growth.
Yeah. I heard it said that YouTube isn't a video platform, it's a packaging platform. And whilst it is a video platform, the packaging is the thing that people see before they see the video.
Yeah.
The headline, the thumbnail, and that first few seconds that auto plays when you're scrolling. And you've got such a short amount of time to capture that attention. So on the one hand, it's sort of, you think, I want to make videos, I don't want to make thumbnails, but also it's it's one of the easiest things you could potentially focus a lot of attention on that could 10x the number of views that you get. Do you know what I mean? Without having to make, spend hours and hours making and editing a video, you could spend an extra 20 or 30 minutes on the thumbnail and 10x the views that you get on that video. It's extremely powerful.
Yeah.
I wish I'd focused on that. So I think what you said there as well is like there is a connection between your audience and the type of thumbnails they'll resonate with.
Yes.
Like if your audience isn't Mr. Beast's audience, they're not going to resonate with the Mr. Beast style thumbnail. So it's not like there's a cookie cutter approach to what makes a good thumbnail. It's like what's the right thumbnail for your audience and your channel.
That's right. And there's so much learning there, and it's a trial and error thing. And it's also a balancing act because it's not always the thumbnail that attracts people, it's the topic. So unfortunately, you need a lot of data gathering to figure out what works for you and what doesn't. But also you train your audience. As people start to like you, they will start to recognize your thumbnail style. So yeah, it's a really tough one to navigate, but it is just ultra important and overlooked by everyone, including myself.
Lovely. And you've also put together a thumbnail course.
Oh, I have. I'm just finishing touches. This wasn't a promotion for that. A nice coincidence, but no. The reason why is because I don't know when it was. Like I think at around 70,000 subscribers, I just started like looking at other YouTubers that were a similar size to me, and I was just like looking at other people's thumbnails and seeing who had like breakout videos and just started like really analyzing. I was like, okay, my thumbnails are shit, but I thought they weren't. I thought they were good, but there's levels to the game. And I was good for someone that has 20,000 subscribers, and I wasn't good for someone that wanted to break through the 100,000 mark. And I've hired thumbnail editors. I think I've had 5 or 6 different people that I've tried. And in the end, I make better ones. It's just because they have a style, but I tried all those different styles just to test, and in the end, like my style worked better, so I just had to get better at doing what I do.
I mean, like I said, it makes sense to focus a slightly disproportionate amount of time on such a high leverage activity that can get so many views in the video, right? Like we said, if you can spend an extra 20% of the total time of making a video on the thumbnail, but it has the potential to 10x the total views, that's a very high leverage activity to focus on.
Yeah. High reward.
And you've definitely made me realize I need to focus on my thumbnails.
You have great thumbnails. I like your thumbnails. I don't know if your audience does, but I like them.
Well, not the last couple, but we'll see.
That's the thing, right? Like you need to also learn like what works for you.
Yeah. No, I'm a big fan of using AI in my thumbnails, actually.
I love looking at them. I love those thumbnails. That appeals to me. But
you are the audience, so I have to have a few more of them. Awesome. So I think, mate, that was really valuable. Thank you so much. That was super, super valuable. I think we can maybe move on to Q&A. We've got a few questions that have been emailed in.
Cool. Let's do them.
Review some of those, and then we can look at some of the questions in the chat.
Yeah, there's been some great ones in the chat, so I do want to get into a bunch of them.
100%. So we had a really, really good question from Henry, who sent us an email. And he said, what's one thing new creators waste too much time on that doesn't actually move the needle?
Oof. I would say trying to overdo things. Things like color grading. Don't color grade. Don't. At the beginning, shoot in standard profile and just do that. I haven't color graded 90% of my videos. That's just out of the camera. I color grade ones that I want to spend more time working on, but that is just, and especially when I was making daily videos, not allocating time to that. So I think at the beginning, you're trying to learn so many things. Don't overcomplicate that. Don't take on things that really, no one's ever clicked off a video because the standard colors are no good, right? They might click off if you get the color grade wrong, like George's old videos.
Yeah.
That might like deter people, but the standard colors have no one's ever watched a video and go, I don't like these colors, right? So yeah, applying your time to things that give you a direct reward. Does this get me more views? If not, don't waste your time on it. perfect the things that you are working on currently.
Love it. So we had a question. So what I'm going to do, I think, bounce between the two from Brits living in Spain. Be interested to know your thoughts on the AI trend, where people are using AI to create videos, overdub videos, and thumbnail and SEO optimization.
I'll try my best not to swear here, but I hate it. Well, I don't hate all of it. I hate those AI channels that just... What I hate about them is they're polluting the space. And YouTube is cracking down on it at the moment. They're demonetizing completely AI channels. I have no problems if it's well done and it adds something. The amount of AI channels that are coming onto YouTube is really scary. I saw like a documentary about a motocross racer that I wanted to, oh, cool. Like I didn't know there was a documentary about this guy. It's all AI. There's pictures, images, like video, none of it's real. And I'm like, well, then I don't care about this. And I'm concerned that there's going to be too much of that too quickly. I'm all for AI in terms of using it as a tool to make better videos. Like I've used AI to write descriptions. Didn't make any difference to my views. Like I haven't used anything of AI that made me like overnight success, but maybe I'm not using it properly. I'm all for it in that sense. I don't like completely automated. I made a video that went viral about the tourism collapse here, and all the AI channels have just jumped on that. And that's just prompts in AI saying like scraping data from, okay, there's a video going viral. This is obviously a trending topic. Let's create a video about it. And all of a sudden there's like 30 plus videos on the same topic. And they all got views because it is a trending topic. So that's what I dislike. I like if you use it as a tool, or if you make AI videos that are meant to be AI videos. You're not trying to be real. If you make like AI cartoons and things like that, that's really cool. And I like that sort of thing, but I don't like AI trying to be real.
Yeah. I think we can agree. Just like these 100% faceless AI automated channels, they just suck to watch, and they won't really get anywhere. YouTube will have to do something where, if there's 1,000 times more content being created, they will need to do something that's like a barrier to the quality that's on the platform. The business is too valuable for too much crap to be on there. So they will just filter out. So I think in a world where there's 1,000 times more content, but so much rubbish, making good videos and having like a genuine human, authentic connection is going to be really important. And
the concern is if the platform loses credibility. If it gets to a point where it's just a mess of AI shit, people will stop watching YouTube.
100%.
And I'm sure YouTube is extremely aware of that. And they're working on that.
And that's why they've just, for example, demonetized these completely AI humanless channels. And I think that something to consider is, we sort of think, is it going to be creator or AI? And I think, we can think, well, how can it be creator and AI? Like, what are the easy, simple ways that we can use AI to make our videos better, maybe minimize our editing time, all of these types of things that allow us to make better videos. It's not an AI video, it's us using AI tools in a way that makes our videos better, allows us to tell better stories, or reduces our time on the manual tasks so we can focus on things like better storytelling or making more videos or traveling. So I'll head back. So another great question from Henry here is it better to niche down tightly from the start or experiment with a few themes early on?
That's so tough, because like it is really good to niche down at the beginning. What I would do if I was starting a new channel, if my channel got deleted, I would start it more tight and you introduce side things. So at the beginning, it's important to niche down so that YouTube figures out who you are and sets you off down a road. Once you're on that road, I think you can branch off slightly. So for me, it was very much like daily life living in Thailand. And sometimes I travel to other countries and stuff. But how along the way can I introduce other things that I'm interested in, such as motorbike road trips or modifying a car, that is not going to interest all my audience, but it will interest some. And then maybe I can get people that are into cars that aren't as much into Thailand, but maybe they've been to Thailand once or twice. The risk is when you spread yourself widely, you don't grow as fast, which is not how you would think it is, because you get a little bit lost within the algorithm. Whereas the more tight you are with your niche, the more YouTube knows exactly who you are and who to send your videos to, but you're stuck on that very narrow road. And it's really hard for you to do other things. Like for people that are just only about Thailand, if I want to go to Japan, no one's going to watch my Japan videos, but I want to go to Japan. So for me, the strategy has always been very much, it's about me, my life. And then hopefully if I go to somewhere like Japan, people watch the Japan videos. If I go to Vietnam, they'll watch. And that has happened to this point. So it's a little bit of both. If you want the views and the growth, you stay very, very tight. But if you want the longevity and the chance to be able to have more freedom within that, you spread wider.
Interesting. Now, I really like this question, which is like, what about when you do a video you're really proud of? You really enjoy the finished product and it tanks. That's from Brits living in Spain.
Get used to that because it fucking happens all the time. It sucks. And usually that's how it goes. Unfortunately, the videos that mean the most to you don't always mean the most to the audience. What you need to learn to do is, how do you package that video that's fun for you to make? How do you package that in a way that's going to be really appealing to the audience? And you don't clickbait, but you find a way to package that video in a fun way. So an example is, I like to go down to Klong Toi and hang out with the locals. And when I go there, it's like a slum area part of Bangkok. And when I go there, my videos haven't always done well. People don't necessarily care about that. But if I can package it in a way like, look at what's happening to these poor people. They're having their homes taken away from them, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, the topic hits home with people more. It's the same video, maybe a slightly different sort of intro and weave a slightly different story throughout it. But my experience of the day is still the same. So unfortunately, yeah, the videos that you're most passionate about don't always do the best. But if you can find a way to package that, then you can sometimes slip them through the cracks. But it's usually the other way around. The videos that you care about the least, such as my tourism collapse video, is the most popular.
Interesting. I also view it as like a little bit of a test, like how much do you want it? There's going to be other people that will feel that feeling. Like, there's no denying it hurts. But there'll be other people who will not be able to work through that pain. And there'll be people that will be able to say, well, okay, well, that sucked, but I'm going to keep going anyway. And I sort of had it not long ago where it was, I put out a couple of shocking videos and it's like, oh, this sucks. But then it sort of spurred me on to say, instead of thinking, I don't know, there's something wrong with the algorithm or this or that, it was like, well, this is a sign that actually this video doesn't resonate and I really need to level up. I need to just simply focus on making significantly better videos. And suddenly you can turn that bad thing into a huge positive.
What you can also do is train your audience. You introduce things like that. So I introduced like the car, my car modifications to my channel. And I didn't expect that to get good views, but I was passionate about sharing it. And I didn't do it every single video. I just sort of like throw it in from time to time. And then some people do start to gain a bit of interest in that. I have people that have never been interested in cars saying like, hey, I was enjoying your car modification series. So yeah, you can introduce it slowly, but find ways to package it well, I think.
Nice, for sure. There's a really good question we got from Howard, who sent us an email. And it was, I'm quite curious after the cool vid the other day, if there are any other algorithm hacks you might suggest, especially in the setting up of the profile. Are there any hidden settings not obvious to newbies?
I don't think so. So I covered a couple in a video on this channel on the Creator's Edge. With settings wise, that's about it. The only thing I will say is like, YouTube doesn't care about your first 10 plus videos. Because so many people make channels and they upload 3-4 videos and then they never do anything with it. So YouTube really doesn't care at the beginning. So just keep pushing through it. Just keep making videos and just keep making videos about the same thing so that YouTube gets an idea of who you are and just accept that you're going to get bugger all views at the beginning. Excuse me, but just push through that. because what you're really trying to do at the beginning is tell YouTube who you are. And this is something we struggle with on this channel, on the Creator's Edge. Up until like a week ago, the content suggesting this channel was completely unrelated. Like really, really far from what we were doing, but we just kept hammering home with the same videos about YouTube, and now it's starting to show up to the right people, and we're starting to gain subscribers. We've only got 9 videos on here, and we're only just starting to see a little bit of traction. So just keep smashing out videos. Make 20, 30 videos about the same thing so that YouTube understands who you are.
I love it. I love it. So another really good question from Henry here, which I think can be really useful. What are the top 3 tools or systems that save you the most time as a creator?
Ooh. I don't know if I'm good at this. My approach has always kind of just been the same, and it's sort of a routine now. I'm sure there's tools that can like do everything so much easier for me. This is a terrible one, but in the YouTube settings, you can have it was covered in that video. You can have, if you have your description, you can have the same description and all your links and stuff pasted in there, but we're saving a second here. In terms of like workflow and everything like that, I don't have anything that I do that's exceptional. You can outsource is a way of really doing that. But in the time it takes me to curate an email about a thumbnail of like what I want them to do, and then they send it and I tell them what I want them to change, and then they come back, I can make a thumbnail. Yeah. So while it is workload efficient, it's not always time efficient. I don't have a good answer for that.
No, I think, well, do you know what? This relates a little bit to some of the questions here about how we came up with the channel for our name. JJ, the Lonely Bull in Asia, asked, how do we come up with the channel name? Kirsty also said, how did we do that? And there's obviously a lot of comments, thanks Paddy as well, saying AI should be banned. And JJ agrees. And it's like, well, where does AI have a place in the workflow?
So ChatGPT or any AI, it can be really good for helping you like storyboard and put together ideas. I did a documentary and I used ChatGPT just to try it. I gave it a bunch of, actually this is where it gets really good. So I'm making a side channel with my friend Dan. We're making super short documentaries. They're 4 or 5 minute long mini docs where we get right into history, and it's a fun mix of history and experience and us doing things. So we made the first sort of 4 or 5 in a format that we created, and then we got ChatGPT to analyze them, and then we told them the topics and said, can you script out the next parts, because a section of what we do is history, a section of what we do is experience. So we said, can you script out the parts that we can't do, such as gathering all the information for the history? The experience part we will do on our own when we go to make the videos, but tell us the parts that we need to know. Tell us the intro, tell us the history, and tell us how to wrap up the story. And then we put in all the topics and it spat it all out, because for stuff like history, you're just Googling all that anyway. So having all that given to you makes it really easy. Where I find it falls short is it's not a human, and it doesn't have human emotion attached to it. Mm-hmm. I've gotten it to script out a proper documentary about the Kung Toi one. And I took what it did and I sort of rewrote it through my eyes and through my human experience and in my language. AI is getting better at being able to do all those things. But I still, it's good at giving structure, but what I worry is that people start to lose their own style.
Yeah.
I make my own videos in my style, and if I start doing an AI, do you lose that? But for things like history and stuff like that, where it's not human, then it is fantastic.
Yeah. What it doesn't have yet is taste. Like it lacks a little bit of taste. So it's like, looking at how we came up with the name, it was like, I think you brainstormed a little bit with AI about different name suggestions.
Yeah, it was a combination. So the Creator's Edge is a combination of a few, but to get there, I must have searched like 50 plus names.
Yeah.
Oh, it was more than that, because I would like, give me a list of 20 and sort of 20, and then I'd like look at them and put them all together, and then I made a short list, and then I was like, oh, okay, I like the creators' and then I took the edge from, it was attached to something else. But what ChatGPT can do really well is give you, if you're trying to find an idea, is give you a list of 200.
Yeah.
And from that you can shortlist.
And I remember you basically had a short list that you wanted, or that you had shortlisted down to, and then you sent it to me, but we both had said this was the one that we like. Like, it could give you those suggestions, but it's that human taste that can sort of pick out, like that's the one that resonates. And lots of people have been commenting on the name of the business and the channel. And it's been getting really positive feedback. We've got some really, really fun more questions. Cool. But I did just want to say, so we are actually doing a completely different live Q&A in the Creator's Edge this Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just wanted to share a little bit more now about the Creator's Edge, because this Sunday we're going to be doing a Q&A, but it's completely different to this. So what we do is we hop on like a Google Meet and we actually connect. So we'll connect on a video call. We'll ask about, you can ask those questions on the call. You get specific feedback on your channel, your videos, the things you're working through, and we can actually connect on a call alongside the other community members. So should we talk about the Creator's Edge?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. So if you didn't already know, the Creator's Edge is a community specifically for aspiring content creators. It's got a community, so lots of other aspiring and very successful content creators in there already. But we've also got a ton of different courses in there too. So you've got an absolutely amazing course in there called Vlog Science. Incredibly valuable. Yeah, really, really good. I've got a course in there. We've also got courses in there from Dan the Man, for example, as well as Mac TV and Marion Mueller as well. So we've got some really successful creators.
And yourself?
And myself, got a little course in there too. That's really focused around the business side of things, as well as the community and the courses. We also have regular live calls where we will, like I said, do these Q&As, do live trainings, and it's in a completely different format. So if you'd like to find out more about that, what I'll do is I'll drop a link to the About page in the comments in a second, and you can go and check it out and see if it's right for you. There's a little video by Keis on the next page. Really good video, by the way. And so check it out. If it looks right for you, we'd love to connect with you on the inside. Like I said, on Sunday, we are going to be doing a live Q&A on a Google Meet. And for anybody who joins between now and Monday, I will be doing a one-on-one onboarding strategy session with you. So looking at your channel, looking at your content, and really diving deep into how you can basically grow your channel moving forward. So I'll just drop a link there and feel free to check it out.
So a nice message from one of the people from our community, Heath. The Vlog Science course is a game changer.
You're a legend, Heath. Incredible course. I think I was speaking to Heath about this inside the Creator's Edge recently. It was just an instant level up, like an instant level up on the content. And
I mean, you immediately saw your retention go up, right?
Immediately. So just put it in perspective, my average retention on a video was like 28%, like 35% on a good day. And this is after making like over 100 videos. And then I took Vlog Science, implemented what I learned, and now my videos are getting between 45 and 54%, like consistently over 50%. And that's just from taking that course. And I think we did an experiment where I went out and I actually recorded a video doing what's taught in Vlog Science as a before and after. It was a similar video, similar concept. And I went out there, did it. It was a straight 1 of 10. It was one of my best performing videos in a long time. Got hundreds of new subs for the channel. And it had over 50% retention. And it was my first ever video. And the before was like 30%. So it's like an instant level up.
That was fun. That was a relief for me because I believe everything that I said and the format and everything. And it was nice to see it put into action.
Yeah, for sure. I saw a really nice question about gear here. There you go. So would you advise buying mid-range equipment, cameras, mics, etc., that fit your budget, or wait, save up, and buy the top line toys when you can afford it?
No, I think this is one of those things that gear is like massively overrated. Audio is important. Having 4K is important. That's it. When it comes to gear, that's all you really need. I got to, I would say, about 70,000 subscribers using a GoPro Hero 9 which are going to be like 5+ years old now. And that's still good enough. I could still go out. I still use it. I can still make an exceptional video. I bought this Sony camera recently. This is like about a $3,000 setup. This camera hasn't gotten me a single extra view. It may look better, but it hasn't earned me a single cent more than if I'd shot the exact same videos on a GoPro. It may have a slightly nicer image. So just as long as you meet the requirement, if you can shoot in 4K and you have good audio, that's all you need to worry about. I would say buy the gear that is most cost effective for you. Don't break the bank. Because this is also one more thing you're going to need to learn. This Sony is a bitch to use. It's really hard. And I'm constantly adjusting the variable ND filter, and I shoot in manual all the time because I want the depth of field to be right. So I'm constantly working on the camera. And if you're learning this at the same time as learning video editing and the same time as learning thumbnails, you're just setting yourself up for failure. That's just too much to take on. So simplify the gear, especially at the beginning.
Yeah.
Do that later. It's a fun upgrade once you're starting to go through the motions, you're getting bored and it's getting too easy. Level up the gear.
This was a conversation we had recently because I've done all of my videos just on my Samsung phone. And I was ready to level up at that stage, but that was 100 videos, 5K subs later. And I was like, oh, I want to get like a Sony. Like, I want to look like a professional videographer, And you're like, just get the DJI 4. It's got everything you need, because you can only learn so many things in a given time. And so Keis told me you need to focus more on your angles, more on your storytelling, more on your just general skills.
Get a better shot with the gear that you have.
Yeah.
Instead of framing it wrong and being in the wrong light and stuff. Work on that.
Yeah.
Technical side. And DJI Action 4 is possibly the best bang for buck camera you can get. iPhones take exceptional videos these days. My iPhone 12, which is a pile of shit that's old and the battery doesn't last, I still use that for a lot of videos. It shoots 4K, 50 frames a second. It's got everything I need. But the DJI Action 4 is just tremendous bang for buck. I still use it. I used it yesterday. Great camera.
And it's just, I noticed, this was just something I noticed recently, even in Mr. Beast videos, they're running around with GoPros and DJIs. If it's good enough for 80 million, 100, 200 million views, it's good enough for whatever we're going to be putting out.
Yeah.
Right.
I just want to answer, there's a couple I've seen around sponsorships. Troy Thailand said, when getting sponsorships, do you wait for companies to contact you or do you initiate the communication? And there was someone else saying they're worried about scams with sponsorships. This is a really new thing, and I'm getting a lot of scam emails lately around sponsorships. What I've had to now do is every time I get an email, I look at the email that it's come from. Because I had one, I've been talking back and forth with Sony, which I thought was Sony. And the really frustrating thing is we're about 10 emails back and forth about setting up a brand deal and doing everything. And they were asking for all the information and everything, and I was giving it to them. And then when I asked for a contract and they sent it to me and they said, you have to download the contract, I was like, well, that's weird because I only ever do digital online contracts. And then I looked at it and I'm like, I'm not downloading a file. And all of a sudden it raised an alarm bell. And I looked at the email and it was like, obviously it was a fake email. It was at Sonycom / blah, 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 .gmail.com. And I was like, oh, you motherfuckers, slip that through. And now I've become really aware of that. And I had one from Kodak just recently. I get contracts. I do a lot of my contracts through DocuSign. And now people just send the DocuSign, Keys 1 DocuSign, please sign. But it's obviously not from them. And I'm like, I'm not expecting a contract. So this is really scary. And something you need to be really, really on top of, because this is, the scammers have found this new space and they're working really hard at it and doing a great job because they slip through the cracks. So in terms of reaching out to people, I have had very limited success reaching out to people. I had a great idea that I pitched to Wise, TransferWise. I emailed 2 different people and neither of them got back to me. And I have direct contacts from other people that work with Wise. And it's a great idea. My card got skimmed The video is going to bang. I talk about why is in it. It's a natural thing. Neither of them got back to me. I've emailed companies a lot and I never hear back. So most of the time I deal with companies directly or through third-party agencies that just start contacting you once you get over a certain level. Paddy told me one day, he said one day you'll just show up on a spreadsheet somewhere and brands will start contacting you. And that's pretty much what happens. Now I get every single day I get brands email me.
Interesting. This is it's not the same, but I did see a question in here which is a little bit similar, which is around like the comments and the emails around like these SEO agencies and like these different agencies, you know, typically from India where they're offering like SEO optimization and all this stuff, right?
There is no shortcuts. There's no cheat key. There's no shortcuts. No company or agency can get you any more views than you can get. How? You know, it's all, avoid all of that. And it's something I sort of explored a little bit at the beginning because I have these people like, oh, I'm a marketing person. I can double your views. And I think, well, fucking how? Like, how? Unless you're changing my titles and thumbnails. And I've worked with SEO experts that say they can get you views overnight and blah, blah, blah. So I've worked with some and I've put together guarantees like, okay, I'm going to do it. You give me the tags and the description and everything because they want access to your channel. If you give me all that and I'm willing to pay to try it. I've had SEO experts say, you give me everything, I'll copy and paste it in, and none of it works. So no, avoid. There's no cheat code. There's no cheat codes. There's no easy way to do it. It's just good videos, good titles, good thumbnails. That's it.
Yeah, that money's better spent in your pocket and giving you longer runway to make this a win, to invest in making better videos. Yeah, for sure. Keep that money in your pocket. Yeah, if only there was a way you could pay someone $200 a month to put tags on your channel and it 2x'd in growth.
I mean, yeah, YouTube's smarter than that.
100%. It all comes down to making better videos. So another really good question that we got by email was, what was your weekly workflow like when you were starting out? This might be a little bit different. This might be daily workflow.
Well, when I moved to Thailand and I started making daily videos, I did have a daily routine of how I did it. I would edit a little bit and I'll go back the afternoon before. So after I'd finished shooting a video, I would edit a little bit in the afternoon. The first minute of me editing a video is the hardest because that's where you choose the music, the pacing, the style of how the video is going to look. And a lot of that comes down to the music for me. So I would get that first minute done, which would usually take around half an hour to an hour to get the first minute of the video. And I would do that in the evening to set myself up for the next morning. The next morning I would wake up and I would edit the rest of that video. Once you've got the pacing and the music there, the rest comes together really easily. At first, it would take me 4 hours to edit the video, then it was 3 hours. Now a vlog that I used to make, I can knock out in about an hour and a half to 2 hours. The first part is the hardest part. So I would finish off the edit in the morning, make my thumbnail while the video was uploading, have it posted ideally by midday, and then I'm outside to go shoot. Shoot for as long as it takes. Sometimes just an hour, sometimes it's 4 hours, sometimes it's all day. Sometimes I go out at night and go do a night market video or something like that. But then I'll come back and I would try and get that first hour done. Now, if I want to squeeze in some life, like if I was going out to have some beers or hang out with friends or something after that, I would try and smash out that first half an hour to an hour before doing that. And then I would go meet my friends so that if I was hungover the next day editing that video, at least the hard work was done and I just had to go through the motions and put it all together.
Nice.
And it was every day at the beginning.
So what I've got into the process of doing is like batching now. So I find it hard to like think of the video idea, plan the video, and then record the video on the same day. So I'll generally like have a recording day where I'll go out, but then another day I'll sit down, get caffeinated in the morning. Between like 9 and 11, I'll think of the idea, I'll think of the things I want to cover, and I sort of do it in 2 different blocks. And that for me, I found it really useful because there's not like a task switching cost of like, right now I'm in the zone of being creative about the idea, and then I'm in the zone of like presenting or something like that.
Yeah. These days, my videos are shoot one day, edit, and upload the next.
Nice.
and the morning is mentally planning out the video,
Mm-hmm.
doing any scripting or whatever. But it's the morning off, because if I do it the day before, I lose that train of thought. So do it the morning of, percolate on it in the studio, in the shower, go out and smash it, and then the next day.
Nice. Now, a really cool question, this one. What's the most overlooked metric the creators should track in YouTube Studio?
The most overlooked metric
Yeah.
to keep tabs
To
on
track,
YouTube
yeah.
Studio. There's a few. I don't know if it's overlooked, but retention is like by far the most important metric of telling you how good your video is. People confuse views with how good a video is. Views are how appealing the topic was. It's how many people clicked. It doesn't tell you how long they watched for. People could watch for a second and go, fuck, click off. That's a shit video. Just because it has a lot of views doesn't mean the video was good. So the retention is really important. That's the true gauge of how good a video is. If you didn't get many views, but the retention is really high, it just meant you made a great video, it just wasn't very appealing. People, confusing views with the quality of a video. In terms of digging deep into your analytics, I think what device people watch on is a really good thing to look at, because that tells you how long people want your video to be and what they want to see. More than 50% of my videos watched on the TV. It tells me people are sitting down to enjoy that. I know if I'm watching YouTube on my TV, that's usually when I'm having lunch or something, I want at least a 10-minute video, ideally a 15-minute video. I'm happy to sit down and watch a half an hour video on the TV. If I'm watching on a phone, get it over with. So looking at that to understand who your audience is and what they're watching on can help you shape your videos for the future.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, I like to sort of track weekly returning and monthly returning viewers. I think that for me gives me more of an inclination as to like how many people are still checking out my channel.
I think I used to check that a lot.
Yeah, because I feel like people might have subbed to my channel a year ago and they sort of moved on with it. They don't really care. Whereas it's like how many people are coming back every month.
That actually, you're right, because that is a really good thing, and that tells you also, are you becoming too repetitive or too boring? And that is a really important thing to look at, is are you getting return viewers? And if you're starting to lose return viewers, you're either repetitive or boring, or you're not going somewhere that they want to see. So
interesting.
Good question.
Well, I think we might be having some audio issues potentially.
I have no idea how to.
But sorry. I think it's been fun.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah.
It's been good. If you would like a replay to this, I'm just going to drop a link, and we're basically going to send. We're not going to keep this up forever. We'll keep it up for a couple of days, and then we'll take this down. But we will send the replay. We'll share the songs and things that you mentioned earlier on.
Cool.
Just so that you've got those. So yeah, if you want to get the replay, I just dropped a link there. So yeah, feel free to enter your details, and we'll send you the replay by email soon. And yeah, if you'd like to hop on a live call with us on Sunday, that'd be awesome. So please do check out the Creator's Edge. We'd love to see you inside. Yeah, connect and go from there.
And if you want to take what you do to the next level, Creator's is really helpful. It's incredible success in there from everyone. I'm just continuing to plug it, but it is a great space. We spent a good 6 months working on this. That actually all came together. So this is something that has a lot of value and can really help people of all levels. If you're brand new, even if you haven't started a channel yet, anything, it's definitely worth checking out.
100%. It's really the thing that I wish existed a couple of years ago when I was starting out. And
me too.
The feedback that we've got from the members has been like overwhelmingly positive. Everybody is just getting so much better so quickly, getting so much knowledge.
We had everybody continue for the second month. Right?
Yeah. And
we lost one.
And polled our members, and it was like, 100%. Would recommend to a friend. So yeah, seeing instant level ups, it really is a game changer. I think you sort of have to get inside to sort of see it, to connect with the members, see the support that you get, feedback, access to the information. It really is a no-brainer. And it's not that expensive. It's just one monthly price. There's no long-term commitment. You can join, cancel anytime when you feel you've got what you need. But yeah, would love to connect inside.
Yeah, check it out.
There's a link in the comments if you'd like to, and yeah, it would be awesome to connect.
Thank you to everyone for joining. Thank you for all the amazing questions. And we're going to do a lot more of this.
100%. It's been fun.
Oh God, how do I end this? I have never done this from the camera. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Maybe.